Hey guys, another video like this, me sat in front of you talking at you rather than racing. What I'm going to cover today is 5 tips to get out of rookies. Obviously I'm sure might have heard these before from other people. If you haven't, then they're nothing groundbreaking. They're pretty standard tips that even I was told when I first started. But hopefully if they can help you get out of rookies and doing the sort of races you want to do in D class and above, then that's great and this video is well worth it. So tip number 1, don't be impatient and just jump straight into a race. Take the time to learn the track. Have a look at the series, have a look what the Mazda or MX-5 races are, or the Skip Barber, or whatever, the Formula V, whatever the races are that you want to do. Have a look what track they're doing for that week and just take a couple of hours. It doesn't have to be long. Just take the time to learn the track and get comfortable with it so that you can actually drive around the track in a race and not be surprised by upcoming corners or how much you have to brake. And more importantly than that, try and do the track without the racing line. I know it's easy when you first start just to do the racing line, think I'm just going to do this while I'm in rookies, and then when I get to D class I turn it off. The racing line will teach you nothing but bad habits. By all means, if you want to, like the first time you load up a circuit, you just want to take the circuit a couple of laps with the driving line on just to get your bearing, a rough indicator where braking points are. But turn it off as soon as possible, because you will be so much faster when you can learn yourself where the braking points are. Because the thing about the racing line within iRacing, it's not a dynamic racing line, so no matter what speed you approach a corner, the suggested braking point will always be the same. So that can fool you, because obviously as you get faster and more comfortable on the track, the braking point will get a little bit earlier, or maybe as you learn to sort of come in a bit more slowly into a corner to get a better exit, the braking point will be a bit later. But the driving line, if you follow that, the braking point will always be the same. So you'll always be braking at the same point and you'll never be getting quicker, because you'll just never adapt to how confident and how comfortable you get to the track. So first things first, learn the course and turn the driving line off. So tip number 2, get something like Crewchief. Now, Crewchief is a third-party program that basically replaces almost the spotter that's built into iRacing. If you don't have the spotter on already that's built into iRacing, turn that on. But more importantly, if you can, go get Crewchief. So what Crewchief will do is basically tell you left, right and centre if there's any traffic, tell you the car coming up in front of you and the sort of the time interval, and same behind you, as well as later on when you do multi-class races if there's a slower or faster class of car coming up. But basically it's a lifesaver. I cannot stress how important Crewchief is. Or if you can't get Crewchief or just don't want to run a third-party program, just turn that spotter on. Trying to drive, especially if you're on a single monitor where you don't have a great field of view, if you can't see left and right, when you concentrate on a race, you just need that help, and Crewchief is so good at letting you know what's to your left and what's to your right. Without that, it just makes your life a lot more stressful, and you will have accidents, especially as you get used to the racecraft of any sim racing game. Until you're comfortable with that, you're just not going to appreciate the space you've got to your left and to your right, especially even behind and in front of you. And just having someone, a voice in your ear just to tell you that so you can concentrate on the race in front of you, it just is so important. It's free, and I'll put the link below in the description. Just go and get that app now. It's really quick to install. Another cool thing about it is the spotter, Jim, in the game, which I'm sure if you watched my videos before, me and him have a bit of a love-hate relationship. If you got Jim, you can set it to say your name. So that's a bit cool, if you like that, a bit more immersion when Jim refers to you by your proper name. So the third tip that I give you, and it's a bit of a contentious one, you'll hear sort of contradicting opinions about this one. When you're starting out in rookies, obviously you don't have an I rating. The main thing that you care about at first is safety rating. And the only way to get that up is to get through a race without any incidents, or as few as possible. Now, when you're in rookies, there's quite a lot of people who, I don't want to say they're not taking it seriously, but maybe they're just trying iRacing out, they don't really have the intention of playing it long term. They're coming into a sim racing game for the first time. Maybe they're used to playing a game like Forza Horizon, where you can just bounce off the other cars and you don't have to really worry about proper car physics. They will, whether intentionally or not, ruin your race. If you're really keen to qualify, you feel you're really quick around a course and you qualify and you get a great time, or worse in rookies, if you qualify middle of the pack, you will find yourself at the mercy of other cars, and quite a lot of times, as I say, intentional or not, you will get taken out. Now the tip that I'm going to give you, as I say, it people might disagree. Don't qualify. Now, I'm not going to say start from the pits, I think that's a bit extreme, but just don't qualify. Start from the back, and just, if there are going to be accidents, especially into turn 1, or, you know, the first couple of corners especially, just let that happen. If anyone's going to be an idiot and take other people out, let that happen. You're at the back. By the time you get to turn 1 or get to that pile-up, you can just drive round it, make up a few places. And as I say, your position doesn't really matter because you don't have to worry about iRating. You just want that safety rating. So whether you finish first or last, yes, you're going to learn a bit more by racing for first, you know, in terms of racecraft, but you've got all the time in the world to learn that. But more importantly, you just want to get that safety rating. So, as I say, start from the back, just let the carnage unfold in front of you, and then hopefully by the time you catch up, the field will have spread out a bit, or any idiots who were going to sort of take each other out have gone, and you can just concentrate on a nice, clean race. So I say, a bit contentious that one, but I think that is a good tip to get out of rookies. So tip number 4, and this is for other people's benefit as well as yours. If you do happen to go off, you know, whether you go wide and you go onto the grass and you just want to come back onto the track, or you spin, worse, get taken out, don't just rejoin the track. I know it's so easy to just think, I need to get back up, I want to make up that position, I don't want to lose, I don't want to be last. But chances are, if you rush back onto the track, you're going to take other people out. If there's people behind you and you're not paying attention, you will go straight into the path of those oncoming cars and you'll cause a massive pile-up. It will mean you're massively unpopular. You could get reported, which means you get a small ban. But as I say, you're just going to ruin your own race. And of course, when you get the contact from hitting on those oncoming cars, you're going to get a 4x, and worse if you go back off the track, you know, maybe a 2x or another 1x. So for your own benefit, if you have to just let a few cars past, just do that. And I mean, I promise it'll be worthwhile because you'll get that better safety rating reward at the end. So map a button on your wheel to look left and right, so if you are at an awkward angle you can just look right or look left and see what's coming, and as soon as it's clear, if you're looking at the intervals or the relatives as well, once you see there's no cars coming, feel free to join the track. But yeah, just don't rejoin really quickly because you will make yourself very unpopular. So the last tip from me, and this is by no means, you know, there's hundreds of tips I could give you to sort of help you get out of rookies, but these are the main ones. Tip number 5 is all sessions count. Once you're in that 3-minute warm-up, once the race session starts, it's so easy just to think, I'll just go round, you know, if I hit a wall, I'll just carry on, or if I hit a car, it doesn't matter, it's just a warm-up. Every session counts. And in terms of building up safety rating, that means getting clean sessions throughout your warm-up, your qualifying, and your race. Now, granted, in warm-up and qualifying, the incident points that you get, they don't count as much as they do during a race, but everything counts. When you're that focused on getting safety rating, every little helps. So if you can get a 0x throughout your practice and your qualifying, definitely do that. And similarly, at the end of a race, just do an in-lap. Take the time just to do a slow in-lap. The way safety rating is measured is basically done on every corner you take throughout the race or the whole race session. So, you know, when you do an in-lap, as slow as it is, it doesn't matter whether you're just crawling around just to get to the end. Every corner you take will add up to your final safety rating. Now that might be the difference between 0.01 and not, but again, to get out of rookies, you have to get a 3 safety rating. So if you can get a 0.01, that might be the difference between having to do an extra race and not. So just take the time to do an in-lap. It's only going to be a couple of minutes on top of your race, and it could help you get out of rookies quicker. So definitely do that. But yeah, that's it for me in terms of tips. I will do another video like this because there's a lot more I can give in terms of advice to get out of rookies. And if you're new to iRacing, these 5 tips will be a good start just to make sure you get out of rookies, because that's when the game really opens up. I know it's very easy in rookies just to think, well, this game's carnage, I just get taken out all the time, I'm driving a clean race and then some idiot goes and takes me out. And it's so easy to be put off and just not want to play anymore. But I promise you, even if you sim iRaces and see accidents in there, it happens far less once you're in your D class, and as you go up those licenses, and even as your I rating goes up, it happens a lot less. But just get through rookies, and these tips will hopefully help you to do that sooner. But if you've enjoyed this video and you liked any of the tips and found them useful, please do comment. I'd love to hear from you if you've used any of them, or even if you've heard them before, don't necessarily agree with them, leave a comment as well. But if you did like this video, then please do give it a like, and also if you can give a subscribe as well, you'd be doing me a massive favour. I think at the time of recording, we're at 66 subscribers, so if we can get up to 100 soon, I would love that. You know, that's a good milestone for me to aim for initially. But yeah, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.